Hello everyone, I'm Dr Emma Richards. Croeso pawb, Emma Richards ydw i. Today I want to tell you a bit about a project I'm working on. It is a healthy ageing challenge which is funded by the UKRI that is looking at hearing loss and the difficulties people experience when out and about in shops, cafes, public transport, etc. and the impact that this has on people being able to age well. On this slide are some of the other professionals across Wales who are working with me on this project. So some of you may know me as a dementia researcher, and my background is in dementia research, so you might be wondering why I'm studying hearing loss. I am interested in hearing and vision, cognition and dementia, and how each of these interact. If somebody has to put so much effort into hearing, or even blocking out sounds, does this impact other things such as our attention? Does it cause cognitive overload? Can it lead to cognitive impairment? And is this worse for people with dementia? There are 8 million people in the UK over the age of 60 who are impacted by hearing loss, with about 70% of people over the age of 70 who have hearing loss. Despite such occurrences, hearing aid uptake is low. There are over 6.5 million people would benefit from hearing aids, but despite this, only 2 million people have explored this intervention option, with reports of only about 20% of individuals prescribed hearing aids using them frequently and appropriately. So hearing loss is now recognised as one of the largest modifiable risk factors in the development of dementia, with a reported 8% of all dementias caused by hearing loss. However, recent evidence has indicated that hearing aid use can reduce dementia risk. So with this information about the importance of hearing loss, myself and the team at CADR, NHS audiologists and Arwen decided to try and improve the public awareness of this. So we made this short film highlighting the importance of getting your hearing checked and the links between hearing loss and dementia. So I'm just going to play this for you now.
As we age, our ability to carry out everyday activities may decrease due to things like changes in our eyesight or concentration levels. Importantly, it could also be because of changes to our hearing. The impact of hearing loss is often underrated. When you can't hear properly, conversations can be hard to follow, and this may discourage you from joining in enjoyable activities. Experts show a link between hearing loss and dementia. This may be because withdrawing from everyday conversations makes us feel isolated. Our brains need the type of stimulation we get from talking to other people. Research suggests that by managing hearing loss with hearing aids, the risk and the impact of dementia can be notably reduced. If you notice any hearing loss, it's very important to get your ears checked as early as possible. Or if you already have hearing aids, then make sure they are working and used regularly. Contact your GP practice to arrange an appointment with an NHS audiologist for a hearing assessment.
Isn't this film great? And although it's not part of my research, it really complements the work I'm currently doing and highlights the importance of working across disciplines. One cannot ignore the effect COVID-19 has had on everybody over the past few years. COVID has had an effect on many people's ability to hear well. People with hearing loss have endured significant challenges due to COVID-19. So directly, COVID can affect one's hearing. From past experience, when I had COVID last year, it felt as though I had cotton wool in my ears for a few weeks. Indirectly, face masks, screens and distancing has affected the people's ability to lip read, hearing, sound perception and interpreting facial expressions. So here are some examples of environments that it is difficult to hear, such as social gatherings, so hearing people talking when there's others talking around you, so such places like busy cafes, public transport, supermarkets. So we know hearing loss can be counted by hearing aids, but in reality this often fails. This is because they can remain ineffective in many noisy environments. So this reduces the ability of older adults with hearing loss to remain active, to keep productive and independent, and to stay socially connected. So people often stop going to such places, which isolates them. And this, together with hearing loss, represents a risk factor then for the development of cognitive impairment and dementia. This led us to some applying for some funding to the UKRI. So the government funded us to address some challenges in ageing to allow us to live healthier and longer and happier lives. So this led us to having a couple of research questions that we wanted to address. So how do noisy environments affect hearing? What does it do to our attention when it's noisy? What does it do to our concentration? What does it do then to people's well-being, being out and about in noisy environments? What does it do to people's social interactions? And what about the experience that they have? So we want to ask people what their experiences are like. And how does the source and the type, the distractibility and other factors of noise influence hearing in the environment? So this has led us to developing a research plan. We aim to provide the data and evidence to inform guidance for retailers, for cafe owners and public transport providers, so that they can create appropriate environments that are sustainable and more inclusive environments for people with hearing loss. So we aim to do that really by splitting our big project up into lots of smaller projects. So we've called them work packages. So in work package 1, we're going to be looking at previous literature, what's already been studied, and using evidence from that to put towards this bigger body of evidence that we are creating. So in work package 2, we'll be asking older people to go out into these environments and to identify situations which are particularly difficult when they are trying to hear. So we'd be asking them to take photographs or to film in these environments and to give a narrative along with these, just describing some of these difficulties. These will be short, very short sort of clips, a minute or 2 clips, and we will be editing these. And they'll go up onto the CADR website, but they'll also then feed into another part of the study, which I'll just describe on the next slide. So here in work package 3, we will be doing a couple of focus groups with older people who wear hearing aids to identify from the lived experience of people the difficulties they have, what the difficulties are in terms of wearing hearing aids, what the difficulties are with the hearing aids, and then when they're out and about, what is particularly difficult for them. So this again will be providing more evidence of where these difficulties lie. Within work package 3 then, we'll be putting this evidence together to do some workshops with business owners, so shop owners, cafe owners, to work with the older people who have hearing loss to come up with some guidance together. This then will also be informed by work package 4. So in work package 4, we ask people to come to the university, they have a hearing test, we do some cognitive tests with them. We'll be playing some loud noises to see whether this impacts their ability to do certain tasks. So whether it impacts their concentration and their memory and their attention. So all this stuff will work together, and we'll be putting this together into workshops with older people and the business owners to try and develop some guidance then for retailers. From this as well, we'll look at developing some guidance for people who are new to hearing aids, just so that they know what to expect. This project is still ongoing, and we haven't got any data to share with you at the moment, and we are looking for people to get involved. So if you are over 50 and either have hearing loss or if you wear a hearing aid, then please do get in touch. You can take part in one part of the study, or you can take part in all of the parts of study, potentially, depending on your circumstances. So we need you to help us so that we can develop the guidance and information to improve these spaces in cafes and restaurants and these different places. So thank you for your time today, and thank you for listening. Diolch. Here's my email address if you would like to take part in the study, or if you can help share information about the study, then please do get in touch and I can send you the information.